Cinema Classics is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. Further details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.org.
The award-winning Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org. I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
I'm John DeSando.
This is Cinema Classics.
Yes, sir, indeed. And
I'm surprised Gateway Film Center's still supporting the show.
It is.
Is that right? I figured with budget cuts and whatnot, maybe they scaled back their support.
Well, let's see, perhaps they recognize that they do get a bit of publicity from this show every week. And we're this week discussing...
You should cut that off.
No kidding. Close Encounters of a Third Kind. That's coming up.
Okay.
At Gateway Film Center.
All right. Let me guess. 70 millimeter.
I think so.
Or is it 35 millimeter?
I'll pick one of those,
okay.
And I think it's 70
all right.
because I think Jaws was 35, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Traditionally.
Yeah. And actually, I'm trying to figure the date. I think is tomorrow, July 1st.
Oh. Cool.
I want to make sure. I think you're right on top of it these days. No, Jaws is. So it's going to be July 8th. So, Close Encounters of a Third Kind.
The Third Kind.
The Third Kind,
yeah,
thank
not
you.
The Third Kind.
You're right, thank
Close
you.
Encounters of the Third Kind.
This is
implying there's a first and second kind. Do you know what they are?
Don't ask me, please, I knew you'd ask me.
Well, I don't know. I think the first one is seeing it.
All right.
And the second kind is, I don't know.
What else could
sending
you do?
it a letter.
Listening to it?
And the third one, I don't know. And the third one is contact.
Anyway, this is...
Making contact.
This is July 8th. Tomorrow.
Okay.
It's going to be there, and it's worth seeing in 70 millimeter.
Oh, well, yeah, this movie is spectacular.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of great about it? It starts out with that very domestic, Richard Dreyfuss is the husband and father.
He's a dad.
And, they're in suburban Hollywood or whatever, suburban LA it seems like, right?
Yeah.
Suburban California somewhere.
Yeah.
Typical Spielberg territory.
Yeah, he's going to see Pinocchio with his kids.
Yeah.
He's just a fun-loving guy who's a dad.
And Melinda Dillon brilliantly plays his wife.
She was nominated. Good point.
Yeah, she turns up in a couple of Spielberg's films, but it's got that domestic scape about it, and then things change when the aliens start passing through, the UFOs start passing through, and everybody sort of changed, and then they set off on this quest. You remember the quest?
Yeah.
For Devil's Rock.
Well, he gets right. I mean, he's illustrating it without ever having seen it.
Yeah.
And it's strange. And so, as a matter of fact, so moved was I by this movie. Now, you were just a punk kid.
Yeah.
When I was doing this. Right after this movie, took my motorcycle. Guess where I went?
Get mashed potatoes.
You did. We did. But the little, what happened in that scene? The little girl in that scene said something like, "Ooh, there's a fly on my mashed potatoes," and they left it in.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
because everybody.
That's why Spielberg is a genius.
I know.
No, so you got on your motorcycle
So I got and went
where?
to Devil's Canyon.
Headed west.
Yeah, I went right there. Lots of people rappelling on this huge rock. But there was something, I almost felt like Dreyfuss, there was just something that was moving me to go see that. I think so powerful is this movie. Because, I grew up on all, like, Plan 9 from Outer Space, or, or The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah.
Where, you had visitations, but you never, I think, had them as sweet, lyrical, and as romantic as he presents them here. Or, let's just say most of us have grown up on, going to other places.
Right. Well, isn't there something? It's called Devil's Mountain, right? Is that what it's called?
I thought it was Devil's Canyon.
Devil's Canyon. It's not a canyon. It's a big thing.
I understand that. I know. It's Devil's Rock.
It's definitely not a canyon.
No.
I don't know a lot about topography, but I know that's not a canyon.
All right. I'm cutting this whole section.
No, you got to leave that. Like Spielberg, you should leave that in.
Anyway, Devil's
Rock.
I like it.
Okay.
Devil's Rock.
Devil's Rock.
I like that.
Let's go with Devil's Rock.
Right.
accuracy be damned.
Right.
That features prominently in so many John Ford westerns.
Oh, that's where he got it. Excellent.
Right. So for Spielberg, he's got to be thinking about the quest westward.
Yes.
And, what a cinematic journey that is, and what that means for a filmmaker. That was probably, I'm sure, seething under the surface.
Yeah, he said editing that last 25 minutes of Close Encounters was the toughest job he'd ever had.
Really?
Yeah. And I think the mixing of that little tone, that 5-tone song, and there have been so many changes over the years in this film. I don't even know what edition they're having at Gateway, but in one of them he shows the inside of the ship, and it may be a final cut. And he later says that he's sorry he did that.
Yeah, there were a lot of those different variations running around. It was a long film, so at the time, I'm not sure after Jaws that the studio gave him a hard time about it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. There is, a moment in which you have the Jaws tune.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool. That's a really fun movie. You're right. It's moving.
Yeah.
It. What he said recently was, Richard Dreyfuss, the character, decides to go.
Yeah.
He decides to board the ship and take the adventure. And Spielberg says he wishes now, or not that he wishes it, but he would not have chosen that ending now.
Okay.
Because now he's a father.
Yes.
And now he knows
Yes, good point.
that a father probably would not get on board that ship.
Yeah, a very good point. You were talking about the romance of the film.
I would put the kids on the ship. That's what I would do.
All right, well that'd be good. And I know.
And I would stay
your
back.
kids would probably go.
I would hang out and wait.
That he cut this movie to John Williams' music. Where ordinarily for a movie it's the other way around, right? You create your music around it.
Sure.
But he was so moved by Williams' score that he cut the movie for the music. Just kind of an unusual thing. But this is what I love about Spielberg. I think you were mentioning that. He's just so ready to change. He's ready to do what will work creatively. He doesn't seem to give a darn about what anybody thinks but himself. And I love that about him.
And that you really start to see the Spielbergian wonder in this movie.
Oh, better than any.
Faces just sort of awed, with this sort of cosmic splendor, and it really does. He was on the forefront of turning science fiction films from those kind of creepy, vaguely horrifying films to something exploratory and really wonderful.
Well, and don't you think these are different from any aliens we've ever seen in film? Because they're playful. They're fun.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of a take, which I love. And Ray Bradbury said this was the best science fiction film ever made.
Wow, Ray Bradbury.
I know, but come on, huh?
Man, those are some accolades. The other thing that's really cool about the aliens is they appear to have been modeled after the sort of Area 51 kind of, sketches and what had been floating around as culturally, or subculturally rather, as these are what aliens look like, and Spielberg, realized that. That's a really great effect, because I don't know what's going. It's probably puppetry, I guess.
Well, in part,
so great that I don't even know the answer to that question.
Well, in part, he had young girls playing aliens, and he chose them because he thought that they moved more gracefully than boys.
Yeah, that's
so he's just the
glad
guy.
You did your research.
Well, anyway, this is at the Gateway Film Center on July 8th, which should be tomorrow.
Should be tomorrow.
Edit this show right.
I don't know.
Get it out. But anyway.
Make the quest and see it.